Zach, obviously an important matchup tonight. Just let us know how much you and the group are looking forward to playing the Kings here.
Yeah, it's a big game. Obviously, if you look at the standings, both teams keep playing the way they are. It seems like we're going to meet them in the playoffs, which is a big statement game for us. Both teams are playing well right now. It's important for us to come in here and get 2 points, just like every other game. The race for the playoffs is a tight race. You can go from first out of the playoffs still with a bad week of hockey. So every game's important, but tonight emphasis on the Kings is extremely important, seeing how we're so close in the standings.
You talked about how tight the standings are. How much does your group relish that challenge?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's the large number of core guys have been here in the beginning 5, 6, 7 years ago when you weren't looking at the standings too much. You're out of it just after Christmas. So it's nice to be in the hunt, to be in the playoff hunt, and to get the opportunity to play in the playoffs. Obviously, that's the best part of playing hockey, is getting a chance in the playoffs to show what you can do as a team and ultimately win the Stanley Cup.
You talked about both teams rolling. Your team comes in with 5 straight wins, 11-2-1 in its last 13. Talk about the qualities that your group has demonstrated over that stretch that's allowed you guys to find the win column more times than not.
I think it's just different people stepping up at different times. I think our special teams scored timely goals, timely penalty kills, 5-on-5. Different players have stepped up. You look at the game last night, it was a hell of a play by Smitty. You don't see that too often, if ever, anymore. And we're just playing as a team. We're playing as a confident group after we kind of got our our butts kicked and humbled in Calgary, I think we rebounded nicely and continued to grow our game. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach. And there was Oilers forward Zach Kassian talking about the important divisional matchup going down tonight at Crypto.com Arena. Of course, 1 point separates both clubs in the standings, with the Oilers having a game in hand. We've already heard from Zach Kassian. Make sure you grab a coffee as we continue to tee up tonight's action here in LA. Again, an important matchup for the Oilers. They're victorious in each of their last 5 games and 11-2-1 in their last 13. Meanwhile, the Kings, they're coming off a loss earlier this week down to the Oilers' provincial rivals, the Calgary Flames. We'll be hearing from defenseman Darnell Nurse and head coach Jay Woodcroft in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
when you're late in the season and you have a full day off in a kind of nice weather? Is it feel like even maybe more than just a day where you kind of can just relax and get the stress away at least for about 24 hours?
Yeah, I kicked the feet up. I think it was good. Everyone went and got some sun, and yeah, it's nice when you have a day off, especially as condensed as our schedule's been. So it was a good day, and now right back to work. Big game tonight.
Yeah, big game. We often say it, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't quite as big as we make it out to be. But tonight is. You played against LA enough already to kind of have an idea, including recently. What are you kind of expecting for tonight's matchup?
Yeah, they're a well-structured team. Work hard, play a heavy game. Some real good veterans have played a lot of games this time of the year, and young players that have bought into their roles, and so they're a good team that hard to play against. And each matchup we've had seemed like it was tight right to the end. So it'll be just another one of those hard-fought ones that we're looking forward to.
You made do without Leon in San Jose the other night. If you get him back, what kind of a difference would that make?
Yeah, he's obviously such a difference maker, one of the top players in the league. So anytime he's out of the lineup, you miss him, and anytime that you could bring him back in, he injects a lot of life, a lot of poise, and he's just one of those special players in the league. Anytime he's in your lineup, it makes a difference.
Darnell, your team is 5-0 in its last 5, 11-2-1 in its last 14. Can you talk about the qualities that your team has demonstrated during that stretch that's allowed you guys to find the win column?
Yeah, I think obviously we've played pretty well to our structure. It hasn't been perfect. There's been some things that we want to clean up. At the same time, we found ways to win different types of games. We won a game holding leads. We came back and got a late goal last game and found a way to win that one. So we've found ways to win different games in different fashions, and that's a good sign this time of the year. And on top of that, we've no matter what, we've kind of stuck to what Woody and the staff has been preaching, and for us, it's got to continue here down the final stretch.
You talked about them not being perfect at some points. Do you feel like this team is better than years past at kind of dealing with imperfections and all part of that maturation process of this group?
Yeah, 100%. There's a pretty veteran group in there, and that's a group that's just wants to stay even keel and stick to the belief in the system, belief in the group, belief in our ability to win games, and that's no matter what challenge we're facing or what position we're in at any time in the game. We have that kind of belief in the system and in the guys in the room. So that's important, and you're in that. It's not something you just show up and say we believe in ourselves. You have to earn that over the course of the season, and we're starting to show that. How
hard is it to stay even keeled, especially given the stretch you guys are in right now and the importance of the 2 points in the standings? You talked about even keeled. A lot easier said than done, I'm assuming.
Yeah, at the same time though, you could look at the standings, look at our conference and division, how tight it is. You can't give yourself any nights off. You can't feel good about yourself when you're winning games, because a lot of teams that are in the same position as us are winning games too. So you just got to keep that singular focus on pushing forward and making sure that we're playing hockey past the regular season here.
Thank you. Thanks, Darnell.
You know what? I haven't heard back from the trainers yet this morning, but he looked pretty good out there in the morning skate, so we'll see.
What does that do for you matchup-wise, obviously knowing they've got Kopitar and Dano in those 1 and 2 center spots?
Well, anytime you can add a 50-goal scorer and 100-point player to your lineup, I think that's to our benefit.
Jay, obviously an important matchup tonight. You guys have had important matches over the last 25 games or so. Can you talk about how much this team relishes an important matchup like tonight against the Kings?
Yeah, I think we're working our way towards playing to the capacity of our capability. And we don't think we're there yet. We're trying to get better incrementally each day and use the situations that are presented to us to, as I said, play to the capacity of our capability. And I think there's ways to go yet, but we're going to use tonight as an opportunity to test ourselves versus a disciplined, well-coached and LA Kings team that is going to present quite the challenge.
Your team is 11-2-1 in its last 14 games, but has won games in a variety of ways. What does that tell you about your group?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've talked about is that learning how to win big games is a skill. As much as we would all like it to happen in a formulaic manner, it doesn't happen like that. But the most important thing is that if you can instill a belief system in your team, a belief system in every individual, that they can win, they can do it in different fashions, I think it serves us well going forward as an organization.
And it looked like Mike Smith was in the starters net this morning. If you go with Smith, what have you seen from him in the last handful of games or so? Because it really feels like he's turned his game around.
Yeah, you talk about someone who's embodying that finding ways to win attitude, and he's someone who is obviously he's a big presence. He's a leader. When he's in the game, it changes the complexion of how we break out. And he's finding a way to come up with big saves, so I'm proud of him.
And overtime assists on one.
Yeah, quite the play in overtime. I think that displayed his elite hockey sense, which is something that I think Mike possesses.
As an NHL coach and relatively new NHL head coach anyways, on a day off, are you able to kind of shut it down, or is there still some coach thoughts going through your mind, or do you need to step away sometimes, especially with the stress and pressure late in the season?
I think you get your rest in the off season. It was for me like that even as an assistant coach, but I turned the brain off in the off season. Good, thanks guys.
Thanks,